plenty of books have been written about the Civil War and President Abraham Lincoln, but a new one focuses on what it calls Lincoln and America's Most Perilous Year. David Von Drehle is the author of Rise to Greatness. Welcome to the show.
It's great to be here, Michelle.
What compelled you to write a book about Lincoln in that specific year?
Well, a couple of things. A personal passion. Ever since I was a little boy, you know, picking up a stick and pretending to be fighting the war. I've been interested in this period and in Lincoln, who is such a captivating, charismatic figure. But also I felt like there was a bit of a misunderstanding of the war, how close the Union came to losing, what the stakes were if the United States had been broken up, and how crucial this year, 1862, was to making Lincoln as a president and his ability to save the Union.
What can we take from 1862 and what Lincoln did then and apply it to today?
I think Lincoln has a couple of lessons for us. The first is he was, I say he had the hide of a rhinoceros. He did not hold grudges. And oftentimes politicians have thinner skins than they ought to. Lincoln would forgive any attack if he needed somebody. And this allowed him to bring his critics in and not just try to govern with his friends. The second thing related to that is he was always in the middle. He understood that the path to success for a president in the United States is to stick to the middle. He compared himself to a man trying to cross Niagara Falls on a tightrope. And then the last thing was his vision. He was always able to explain to people, no matter how chaotic the events of the day were, why they were fighting this war and what the United States could be if only they could hold it together.
And you say he defined the role of commander-in-chief.
Yes.
This is not something from the founding fathers.
Well, commander-in-chief is in the Constitution, but before the Civil War, it really didn't have a clear meaning because there was no way to communicate from Washington to a distant battlefield. Generals would march off and they'd immediately go out of contact with the president, make all their own decisions. The Civil War was fought with an invention called the telegraph, and suddenly the president could communicate with generals in the West and in the East off at battle. And so Lincoln had to assert his authority, which was hard to do because he really didn't know anything about the military when he took over as president. He had to learn on the job.
Okay, so when you write a book, a historical book, you really have to live, breathe Lincoln. What did you take away from it emotionally?
I became, well, you really fall in love with the guy. He was, one thing that doesn't come across so much because we know about his humor and his storytelling, he was a terribly sad man. He had a lot of loss in his life, including the loss of his favorite son, Willie, in 1862. He had a lot of grief, starting as a little boy when his mother died and he was young. He has this charisma that draws us to him. That's why there's so many books written about him. But at the same time, there's a wall where he was all alone inside. And so trying to get past that wall is what keeps people going, trying to learn more about him.
And it makes for a great book. All right, well, thank you for coming on the show. The book is Rise to Greatness.
Thank you.
Good luck to you.